This is my outfit of the day. I got it from Old Navy and it's a size large. It's such a pretty and feminine, whimsical, rose-colored dress, baby doll style, so it's so comfortable. This dress really works for any season except winter, so I'm definitely going to wear it more this fall. And yeah, I went over to the Sphere and it was an amazing experience. I cannot wait to show you guys the highlights of The Wizard of Oz. And I am also, at the end of this video, going to be singing Over the Rainbow, the most beautiful song from this musical. So stay tuned for that.
Guys, please have your tickets ready. We are loading in on the entry right over this way. So please have your tickets ready to be scanned. We will be opening the
I always have to get a treat whenever I go to a show. So yeah, here's my M&Ms and I got a Coke. And I was just like in awe looking around. It's so modern and crisp and the acoustics are amazing. It's so like contemporary and fresh. The Sphere is amazing. Wait till you see the inside.
I think there's less people on that far side. I don't know if you guys
Somewhere over the rainbow, skies are blue, and the dreams that you dare to dream really do come true.
Toto, I have a feeling we're not in Kansas anymore.
Somebody always help that girl.
Magnificent Oz has every intention of granting your request, but first you must prove yourselves worthy.
3 times. And think to yourself, there's no place like home. There's no place like home.
Oh, I can't
So yeah, I've been thinking a lot about The Wizard of Oz and my experience at the Sphere. Yeah, the show The Wizard of Oz was beautiful. It was the first time I had seen that whole movie, you know, in a while. I don't think I've watched that entire movie, maybe since I was a kid. I've loved Judy Garland all my life. I mean, she must be one of my favorite altos that ever existed on the planet. She's up there with Karen Carpenter and Lauryn Hill and Ella Fitzgerald, jazz singer. I mean, those are some of my favorite altos that ever existed on this planet. But Judy Garland, she must be one of the finest technical singers of all time as well. When I hear her sing throughout the movie, it's utter technical perfection. Sometimes you forget how amazingly talented people are. Anyway, and just, you start to remember why the whole world just loved Judy Garland. Anyway, the story of her, being on the farm and just kind of her insecurities that she had, and she felt guilty and kind of shameful about how she treated her family, and she, her Auntie M, I think it was, and also, her friends saying, you got to get a brain and you got to get a heart and you got to get courage, and just kind of, I sort of thought of that as like kind of her subconscious mind, revealing her insecurities, her feelings of guilt and shame, her feelings of not feeling worthy. And everybody could relate to that. We all feel that way. Something we have to overcome at some point, and then so, the tornado takes her and she lands in Oz, and, Oz is filled with beauty and darkness. It's ups and downs. It's laughter. It's tears. It's fear. It's happiness. It's excitement. It's magical. And, with the Wicked Witch and all of that, it's a lot of darkness as well. And, she's just like traveling through this experience, and she's just learning and learning. And so she follows the yellow brick road and all that stuff. And eventually, you get to the point in the movie where it's time to go home because everybody's overcome their fears and their insecurities. And she somehow, some way let go of feeling unworthy or guilty or shameful. And she realizes she can go back home and she can be with her family and, in her old life any day, any time. And the good witch tells her, click your heels 3 times. And it's so funny because I remember as a little girl, I remember being 4 years old, in a pair of red sparkly shoes that probably my mom or dad bought me, on the driveway. This is Orange County that I grew up. I grew up in the town of Orange County. And I remember clicking my heels. I don't know if I was with my friends, or I just remember like being in my own world on my driveway and clicking my heels 3 times and saying, there's no place like home. There's no place like home. There's no place like home. And just thinking somehow God was going to like transport me to like some place. I don't know, because I was home. But I just find it interesting because I find that so many of the stories that we treasure in humanity are kind of this theme, of like you sort of start at home base and then like you're running around doing all this stuff, and the highs and lows, and it's crazy and it's scary and it's exciting and all this stuff, and you miss home base, you miss home, and you miss, I don't know, in a sense it's like you miss that little girl that you used to be when you were 5 before, she let fear get in the way, before she even believed in money, before she before she even knew someone could reject her, It's like you go through your adult life and it's like you're traversing, I guess you could call it, your yellow brick road, or, your wilderness, and, it's like you're missing everything about that person you always were. Because I think what really it is that, spiritually speaking, we're perfect, whole, and complete. We come from love. We are love. We land on this earth, and then stuff happens and we abandon ourselves and we get insecure, and, we can start to be fake sometimes, or we can start to try to fit in, and, group think affects us a lot, and hardships cause us to lose our faith sometimes. And, so you go through these ups and downs, and you're in kind of the wilderness, you're traversing your yellow brick road, and it's almost like you're just getting back what you gave away. You know what I mean? You always had courage. You always had a heart. You always had a brain. And it's like you're getting it back, like you're remembering again what you always had, but you forgot and you lost it somehow. And you're remembering how worthy, deserving, and enough you are somehow in some way. Like this experience like pulls you out of like your amnesia in a sense. And it brings you back to like who you were before the world hurt you, you know, before all that stuff. And, you know, just that one of those final seeds, you know, where the good witch is like, you know, you needed to know you were worthy and you could always go home anytime, and you just click your heels 3 times and you'll be back home. And Dorothy at that point, she has enough faith to believe, you know, and she does it, and she wakes up back home, and her aunt and her friends and family are around her and, you know, just loving on her, you know, and she's, you know, she's out of the wilderness and into her promised land. I just think it's this kind of, in some ways funny, but scary at times too, story of humanity. And we just, something about us, we just love to be our own hero, and we love to forget who we are and then remember all over again. And yeah, so that's just kind of what I've been thinking about this week with the Wizard of Oz. Anyway, that's all.
From How